All right. So the next lecture in the series is we want to look at a queue. All right. We looked at list, we looked at stack, and we want to go ahead and look at a queue. Queue is spelled Q-U-E-U-E, right? And basically the idea here is that, just to review our stack was, like I said, it's like a box with the books in it, right? That means anything that needs to be put inside can only come from the top. Anything that needs to go outside, go out of it, needs to be popped from the top, right? You cannot just jump in the middle and pick something else. So that is how that only works. Now, queue is visually, you always draw it like that. That means anything that's coming in, comes from the this arrow, and anything going out would be that. So a stack, this is a stack, by the way. Stack was last in, first out, right? Last in right here and first out right there. A queue is first in, first out, right? So if I have a number here, 35, and I have 45, right? And then I have, let's say 55 here, all right? That basically means that the only number that I can really take out here is 55, right? That is the whole idea of a queue. Just like standing in a lunch line, whoever's in the front gets gets the meal first, and then you take turns right after, right? So that is how this is basically done. So that is the whole idea of queue in very simple visually represented diagram, right? Now, what we want to do is that go ahead and write some code and see if we can implement this in Python, right? So very easy, right? And I'm going to show you just a couple of things. Let me open my IDLE. All right, and here, let me go ahead and change this, move to the left side of the screen, move it here, and then I'm going to create a new file like I always do. Save this right away, save as, waste my desktop, and then Python code, and this would be my QUEUE, right? Python Q. So even implementing a queue in Python, you can use a list, and list makes it really easy. So I'm going to say QUEUE equals to an empty list, right? So how do we, couple of things we want to do. We want to see how do we go about right, implementing a couple of functions in queue. So one of the functions that we look at in here is called, normally it's called enqueue. I'm trying to spell it correctly, QUEUE, right? And then another one is dequeue. Right? So enqueue basically means, this basically means how do you go about adding an item to the queue? Right? And dequeue is opposite that. How do you go about removing item from the queue? Right? Now, remember one thing, when we add the item to the queue, where is it supposed to be added? It's supposed to be added, added at the back, right? At the back, which means last, right? Last in, remember last in? And when we remove item from the queue, in this case should be removed from the, no, not last in. Why am I saying it's first in, right? First in, that means first in, and then, well, when you're adding item to the in, at the back, at the end, right? Leave it like that, right? And removing item from, remove item that was added first, right? So a couple of things. Okay, let's go ahead and add some. So adding item is fairly easy. I mean, we will go ahead and use our methods of append, right? So I'm going to say QUEUE.append, right? And this basically adds item. I mean, now looking, if you have followed our video on the stack, right? This is it's a little tricky, because what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to add an item, right? And I'm going to add some other items, QUE.append. So each item is being added at the end, right? At the end. So one after the other one. 34 is the first one, EUE, right? In 78, and then I got 99 right here. So I've added 3 items, right? And I want to print this out. So I'm going to print the Q out easily, QUE, UE, print that out, and I'm going to run this and see what happens when I run it. I'm going to hit run, and so 34 is now. Remember, when we did our stack implementation, right? Stack implementation, you have to visually look at it differently. Here, this is the front of the queue, right? Front of the queue. This is the middle, and this is the back. So according to our diagram, right, the queue is looking this way now. Okay, don't confuse yourself. But this is the front, this is the back, right? And items are coming in, first in, first out, right? Items are coming that way, not the diagram that I made before, right? So now looking at that, let's go ahead and so printing the queue. Now print, visually you can look at it anyway, right? I mean, whether whether it's facing left to right or right to left. The difficulty comes in a queue is when you're removing an item. So when I say queue, when I say the queue name dot pop, what does it do? This will remove 99, right? And I don't want to remove 99. According to the methods of a queue, 34 is supposed to get taken out. So I'm going to show you here, print, right? Queue, put my queue, and you see what happens. 99 would be gone because 99 was the last thing added. See that 99 is gone, which is wrong. I don't want 99. I want 34 to go. I want the first item in the list to go. And the way you can do that is by putting an index here, right? What item are you trying to remove? So that will remove remove the first item, the top item or the first item, right? I hope you all understand what I'm referring to. So when I run that one, you see it's going to print. It took away 34, right? Took away 34.